morning, Stampers. This is Sissy with stampinwithsissy.net. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you this adorable pop-up card. I have a really good friend, Cheryl Bigelow, who sent me a card similar to this, and I was so delighted when I opened it up. Look how cute this is. I have a fluttering butterfly on the inside of my card. Anyway, I wanted to show you how to make this. Let me show you the stamp sets and the Thinlets that we use. I use the Stitched All Around sentiment, thank you for the sentiment here, along with the stitched Framelits, the little circle here to do the sentiment, and then I backed it with a circle from the Stitched Shapes die set. But on this card, I switched up the sentiment a little bit and decided to do Best Wishes, also from the Stitched All Around stamp set. I stamped the sentiment on seafoam paper. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I just love it. And then I stamped it with Pacific Point Blue and embossed it and backed it with the Pacific Point Blue. And you can see how different the two colors look, because when you heat emboss things, the color deepens. I just love how Stampin' Up's products all match each other. Their designer series paper matches their inks and their ribbon and their embellishment and their cardstock. Everything works together, so it's super simple to make a beautiful card. I also used the delicate lace Thinlet borders, this one right here, with silver foil. And I used the Coordinating Springtime Impressions butterfly right here. As you can see, my butterfly is bigger than the butterfly that Cheryl used. So when I put this in an envelope, I'll just fold the wing over, and when they open it up, it will open up, and then they'll see the surprise inside. I've gone ahead and attached the silver foil, the Pacific Point, and the designer series paper. And I meant to show you how I did the lace. Of course, I got so excited I went ahead and did that before I filmed. So I used the basic label punch. I just set it in after everything's adhered so that it goes through both the background cardstock and the designer series paper. And I put it in as far as it could go, and then I just punched. This is what you wind up with. Now, before we can adhere our butterfly, we need to do the inside, because the butterfly is going to be adhered to the inside. And be sure to save the little piece that you punch out, and I will show you why. Let's get started on the inside. I have my super cool Stamparatus here, which I use on almost every project. I'm going to take my garden green. Oh, by the way, I need to make a confession that I used the totally wrong background paper on the card that we're making today. On this card, I used garden green cardstock, and you can see that it doesn't really match as well. The paper that matches this designer series paper is called Shaded Spruce, and look how beautiful it matches. Like I said, Stampin' Up! Has all their papers coordinate, and it's super easy to match up unless you just get in a hurry and screw up like I did. So let's pretend that this is Shaded Spruce. Now I'm going to use garden green ink on the inside. On the other card I used Shaded Spruce because it matched the paper, but for this card we're going to use garden green because it will match this paper. When I'm using my Stamparatus, I like to keep a stamp set behind it because it gives me a level surface to add my ink, and it's just a little less of a mess. Leave the stamp on there for just a couple of seconds so that the ink has time to transfer from the stamp to the paper, and that's not as dark as I want it. So the cool thing about the Stamparatus is it allows me to continue to add ink until I'm satisfied with the effect. So that looks good. I'm going to take my snail adhesive and just run some tape along the bottom and sides and top of the inside and just place it inside, eyeball it. pretty. I love when a card is as pretty on the inside as it is on the outside. Now I'm going to use my scoring pad because I want to score down the middle of my butterfly. So I have a nice even score. Now to do my butterfly, I used my Thinlet to cut out the butterfly in silver foil. And then I traced the butterfly. I'm sorry I didn't do this during filming. I wasn't thinking. Anyway, what I did was I traced the butterfly one side, like so. And then I just made a little box because I didn't want to waste all the designer series paper by doing the whole. I could have traced the whole thing and then folded it up and then backed it, but I didn't want to waste all that designer series paper because I really love this stuff. And so then I did the same thing. I had moved it over like this and did the same thing on the other side. Just traced along the wing. Made a little box here. Well, this is really ugly, but I made a little box here. You can see on the back I have these two flaps that I can adhere it with. And then I cut it out, put some liquid glue along the edges and a few down the middle of the butterfly. Now I love this Stampin' Up's tear and tape. It is so strong. I'm going to put a couple of pieces on each side of these little boxes. I want it to be really strong so that butterfly doesn't escape. It's so easy to tear this tear and tape too. Take my paper piercing tool to lift up the backs. Now, like I said, this is really sticky. So you don't want to place it down someplace unless you're absolutely certain it's where you want it to go. I should have folded this butterfly in half and really creased it so that he popped up and folded better, but that should do. Now I want to take the piece that I cut out and match it up where it was. I'm going to use my tear and tape again to adhere that, because I don't like the white showing. I'm just weird that way. Okay. Lay this down, and I'm sticking this to the inside paper. So that when I close it up, it doesn't look like there's a cut in there at all. Now I know where to put my butterfly. I'm going to just put him in there and decide about there. Tear off the back. Here's my little guy, like so. Check it out. Isn't that cool? Just love that. Now I just need to add my sentiment. I think I want it to come down here this time. And there it is. Super simple, super fun, and I can tell you from experience, really neat to receive. I hope you enjoyed this video and will come back and visit me again. Thanks for watching. Bye now.